What is going on, Arizona sports fan family? How are we doing out here today on this Tuesday afternoon? If you guys didn't see the title of this video, yes, we're going to be diving into this here today. First, big shout out here to the multiple different platforms that we're actually streaming on right now. We are streaming through YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as Instagram. So anybody, whoever is watching, appreciate you guys here for tuning in. Today, we're going to be diving into a topic that some might say, are we really talking about this? What is going on? But yes, we are. I have actually took some time, while I was driving, listening here to our local sports radio, and this topic was coming on, and I felt like there was a lot of people that wanted to jump onto this topic, but they didn't allow them to really kind of speak their mind. They gave them like 4 seconds, 10 seconds to spiel, and they went ahead and hung up on them. So I do want to go ahead and open up the phone lines a little later on here in the stream, but this main live stream is going to be the whole topic is going to be revolving around, is it a big deal that on Friday we ended up having this billboard all around the metropolitan Phoenix, Arizona area saying, "Let's go Brock Purdy." So this is what we're going to be diving into today. Like I said a little earlier, we're gonna be opening up the phone lines. If you guys do want to chime in and you're in the Twitter world or X world or the Instagram world, you do need to come here to YouTube, because I'm gonna be posting a link here on the YouTube chat. So just FYI, if not, no worries. Just sit back, enjoy the show, and we're gonna be diving into, is this a big deal or not? Right now, we do have a poll question for you guys to answer here at the top of the chat here in the YouTube world as well. The question is, do you have a problem with the billboards all over Phoenix? Right now, we got 19 votes, 58% yes, and 42% says no. And I also put it on my community tab as well. And it kind of seems like that seems to be around the realm of where people are split at. We have about 60% saying yes, and about 40% saying no. So definitely keep voting it up here if you guys do have an issue with it. And let's just dive into it, right? So on Friday, we ended up, to the surprise of most Arizona Cardinal fans, or if you live in Phoenix, which we have a lot of transplants here in Phoenix, Arizona. So just because you live here doesn't mean you're an Arizona fan or a Cardinals fan, and I'm fully aware of that. But to the surprise of Cardinal fans, there was a big poster, billboard posted basically everywhere. We're talking about from the East Valley to the West Valley to the north side of Phoenix, all with this 4 letters, right? And it does come from Lerner and Rowe. That's a local law firm around here. I heard that they also practice in California, blah, blah, blah. That's really irrelevant. But basically it says, "Let's go Purdy," or Brock Purdy, right? And it does have a lot of Cardinal fans in an uproar. And honestly, I'm kind of a part of that that group that has me in an uproar as well. To me, as an Arizona Cardinal fan, born here in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, I was born a year after they came here to Arizona. So yes, I haven't been as the older generation that's been, since day one, right? Because it was kind of hard for me to be. I was I could barely lift my head up. So give me a little bit of slack here. But as far as when I started liking football, this was my team. Regardless, the Arizona Cardinals. I was born and raised here in Phoenix, Arizona, and the Cardinals were my team through and through. Now, I do have a father that's a fan of a different team, and they try to convert me, but I was like, no, I'm one of those guys that like to root for my home state, and I got Arizona pride up the yin-yang, right? I'm a Diamondback fan. I'm a Coyote fan. I'm a Suns fan. I'm an everything Arizona fan. That's what I am. So this poster or this billboard, I don't know why I keep calling it a poster, this billboard, I do have a bone to pick with it. I absolutely do. And here's my spiel on this. I don't think this billboard would be acceptable anywhere else but here. It wouldn't be acceptable anywhere else but Phoenix, Arizona. And let me explain to you what I'm talking about. Phoenix, Arizona has a big population of transplants that live here, right? Whether you want to call them snowbirds that come here during the winter, whether you say people that move here because of a career choice, or maybe they just visit it and they really liked it here, right? We don't blame them. It's a beautiful, beautiful state, beautiful city. The weather is great. 60% of the time, 75% of the time, especially during the winter, the weather is great, right? So I don't blame them. But with that comes a lot of people's other fan bases, right? Green Bay, Lions, anybody up north, anybody in the East Coast, right? And we do have a lot of Californians here as well that rep their Dodgers, that rep their 49ers, that rep their Rams, and they benefit from living here because it's cheaper, right? Than living over in California. So yes, I have a bone to pick with this billboard. I feel like it's very, very disrespectful to the Arizona Cardinal fan base, to the Arizona Cardinal team, because in the grand scheme of things here, ladies and gentlemen, we have a team. We have a team. And I get the debate where people are like, well, Brock Purdy's from here, right? But every time I post something on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Instagram or on YouTube, people always have it on the bottom. Well, Brock Purdy is from here. That's what they all say. Okay. And I'm fully aware of that. Good for Brock Purdy being here, right? But did you see a billboard for Christian Kirk? Do you see a billboard for, what's the other guy's name? Byron Murphy? No, you don't. Okay, let's talk quarterback, shall we? Did you see a billboard for Jared Goff in the playoffs in California? Now, somebody came out and told me that there was a billboard where Jared Goff is from, and apparently he's from Kentfield, California. God know where that, right? I did a quick Google search, and this man is about 30 minutes from, 30 minutes from, what is it called? San Francisco, right? So there's a big difference between Kentfield, California, which is population, 7,000, compared to Phoenix, Arizona, that has a population of 1.6 million people. Completely night and day. You don't see that billboard that was placed in Kentfield, and I can't confirm it was there or not, right? I don't know if it was confirmed there, and I just heard it was, so I'm going to take their word for it. But there's a big difference between Kentfield, California, and San Francisco, right? Where the San Francisco 49ers are from, right? Big difference. Big difference. Phoenix, Arizona is one of the most populated, biggest cities in the entirety of the United States. And guess what? We have our own team, and it's the Arizona Cardinals, right? We got it here. That's the Arizona Cardinals. So to me, the idea that Brock Purdy is from here is absolutely irrelevant because A, he plays for the San Francisco 49ers, which is a division rival of the Arizona Cardinals. Whether they think we're a rival or not, we are. We're in the same division, right? And I did hear a point on the radio saying, well, you should be happy because the San Francisco 49ers are in the NFC West. They are representing the Arizona Cardinals, right? Or they're representing the NFC West. I don't see it that way. To me, I don't see it that way. I was born and raised here in Phoenix, Arizona, and anything California, I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of it. There's a reason why every single time we play the California teams, primarily the LA teams, there's the chant of beat LA, right? Now I get it. San Francisco, LA, two different markets. I'm fully aware of that. But this is the whole circumstance that we're living in. They are crossing territories here just because Brock Purdy was what? Somewhere in the East Valley. And if you're not from Phoenix, Arizona, you don't know what I'm talking about, right? We got the West Valley, we got North, and then we got the East Valley, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, or the South, right? The South side. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're probably not from here. So Brock Purdy was somewhere in the East Valley. I don't even know where it's at. What God knows, I don't know where it's from, right? You're never going to catch me saying, go Brock Purdy. Oh, he's from here. I can care less. He's Mr. Irrelevant. It's a cool story. It really is. I'll give him that. It's a really cool story, but I'm not going to come out here and say, go Brock Purdy. What? And let alone putting a billboard in Phoenix, Arizona, population 1.6 million people, compared to Kent Field, California, where Jared Goff is, where supposedly there were billboards put up there for him. I have a big issue with this. A big issue. Appreciate it, Alberto. He says Queen Creek. Thank you. So somewhere east, right? somewhere in the East Valley. It's kind of like, I think, east north-ish is where Queen Creek goes from, right? I have a big problem with this. And I think the majority of what we're seeing here, the people that don't have a problem, and that's fine. I'm not here to try to convince you. I'm not here to try to convince you guys at all. This is just my spiel in this whole thing in terms of why you're wondering on why I'm going off on X, formerly known as Twitter, right? Or why I put it on Instagram, or why I'm making a live stream about this. Because there's a big debate going on right now. We have a lot of Cardinal fans that are either pro it, or they're not a big fan of it. And I'm not a big fan of it at all. I think this really shows that the Arizona Cardinal market is absolutely weak. There's no way that the San Francisco Bay Area would allow anything like this for Jared Goff. There's no way that the sports market would allow it to happen. There's no way. But here, it's okay because he's from here. We so badly want to cheer for somebody. We so badly want to cheer for somebody that we're literally saying, go Niners or go Brock Purdy. Come on. What? They are the San Francisco 49ers, the same team that plays in the NFC West. There's a problem with having a billboard saying go Brock Purdy in Phoenix, Arizona. There's a big problem with it. It's not a good look for Cardinal fans. It isn't. It's embarrassing. If you're not born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, and you don't have a problem with it, okay. If you were born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, but you're a fan of another team and you don't have a problem with it, okay. Well, that makes sense, right? That makes sense why you don't have a problem with it. Because you live in Arizona, but you don't have ties to this Phoenix or this Arizona Cardinal team. You don't bleed when they bleed, right? You don't tear up when they suck, right? There's a lot of people here chiming in, but they're not Cardinal fans. And that's what the big difference is. And I think that's exactly what our local radio station is. I'm going to call it like it is. We don't have very much media here in the Phoenix, Arizona metropolitan area, which is absolutely wild to begin with. I get it. Phoenix, the Cardinals are never great, right? They're never consistent. I'm right there with you. I know I'm a fan. I've been there for a very long time. But for the most part, most people covering this team aren't even a fan of the Arizona Cardinals. So it's not a big deal to them. So it's not okay. So it's okay for them to say, go Brock Purdy. What? Go Brock Purdy. We want somebody to cheer for. Are you kidding me? This is a division rival we're talking about. It's not like he's in the AFC. This is in the NFC. He's in the NFC. Playing for the San Francisco 49ers for their 6th Super Bowl. And then we got billboards out here saying, go Brock Purdy? We need to be better. We need to be better. This is the same thing that I've been talking about for years and years and years and years. And one of the things that makes me frustrated that I can look at a fan base like the Miami Dolphins, right? And they have such a good season, but even when they don't have a good season, they're in tune with that team. That's not the Arizona Cardinal fan base. No, when we suck, everybody is nowhere to be seen. It's tumbleweed season, ladies and gentlemen. It's tumbleweed season. We're thinking about the Suns. We're thinking about the Diamond. We're thinking anything but football. We pack it up and say, no, I don't want to think about it. And that's a bad way to look at it because a couple different reasons, right? Accountability is something that we definitely need to show in general, right? As a media, as a fan base, as everything. This billboard would not fly anywhere else. You won't see a let's go Kyler Murray billboard in Texas. You might see him in a small town, population 3,000. You might see that. You won't catch it dead in Houston. You won't catch it. You won't catch it anywhere near Dallas. You won't. But here it's okay because he is from here. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's just my take on it. It's my take. Am I wrong? Maybe, right? Maybe. But I just don't get it. I truly, truly don't get it. Now, for the people here on the Instagram world, I do want to go ahead and get the opportunity for you guys to chime in on this. If nobody wants to chime in, no worries. That's fine. We'll close up shop here early. I don't know how long this video was going to be. I just wanted to give my spiel on this whole situation because there's a lot of people talking about it. A lot of people talking about it. And a lot of people are minimizing the thought that it's not that big of a deal because he's from here. A lot of people are minimizing it because he's from here. I would never understand it. I truly would never understand it. But here we are, right? It's what we have been dealing with for ages, for years since they've been here. So if you want to chime in, I'll put a link up. I'm not gonna shut you guys down if you disagree with me. Not at all. I'm not gonna be like the local radio station that allows people 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and shut them off whenever they hear something. No, the link has been posted here in the YouTube chat. So if you're on Twitter, formerly known, or our X, formerly known as Twitter, or if you're on Instagram, jump onto the YouTube world. The link has been posted here on YouTube. Just chat. Jump on in if you guys want to go ahead and chime in. If not, no worries. Let's go ahead and read some comments, shall we? Let's see what you guys have to say here in the comments below. Now, I did end up putting a poll question here on my community tab 37 minutes ago, so it's not been long, but 37 minutes ago, we got 93 votes, right? 93 votes, and we got yes, so we got the people saying they do got a problem with it, 58%, and then we got 42% saying no, they don't have a problem with it. So, and then the voting for the live chat here on YouTube, we got 65% says yes, they have a problem with it, and 35% saying no, they don't have a problem with it. So, link has been posted. It's there if you want to jump in. And like I said, if nobody wants to jump in, no worries. That's completely fine. Let's go ahead and read the comments and let's see what you guys have to say. Got somebody on the chat says, Mike, you are so dumb. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's keep it going here. We got my guy here, Meh, says, it doesn't matter if Purdy is from Arizona. He plays for our rival. All think is a trait. That's how I agree with as well. That's how I agree with as well. It's not that big of a deal because Arizona is irrelevant. I see where your thought process is in terms of being irrelevant. I see where you're coming from, but to me, just because we're irrelevant doesn't mean that the Arizona Cardinals don't matter, right? And I think that's one of the big difference, right? And I'm not saying you don't do this, Blazing, right? I watch every single game, right? With the hope that the Cardinals get better every single year. And I'm not saying you don't, but to me, just because they're irrelevant doesn't mean they don't matter. May be irrelevant to some people. They're never irrelevant to me. And I think that's one of the big difference. That's one of the big difference. Esteban says, don't care about the billboards, to be honest. Okay. Cards fans saying Mahomes owns the Niners. Okay, completely not really. Somebody says just block G. No, I'm not gonna block. No, honestly, to be honest with you, I'm never one person to shy away from anybody to say anything. To be honest with you, because people have a right to their opinion. If people think that I'm dumb because of this, that's fine. That's completely fine. Okay, that's cool. That's completely fine. That's completely fine. I'm never going to block anybody because they disagree with me. That's not my style. Never have done it. Never will. Never have. Never will. We got It's Wally saying, Gina, you're disappointing too. Arizona and San Fran are rivals. If Purdy should be ashamed, wait, if anything, Purdy should be ashamed as a Cardinal fan too. Join the team. Not like he had a choice, right? Well, the thing is, this is not Brock Purdy, you suck, right? No, this is not what this is. This is all about a billboard, right? I'm not wishing downfall on a specific person. No, I'm not wishing that. That's not what this is. This is wide pushed a billboard in the Phoenix metropolitan area. That's where this is coming from. This is not hate Brock Purdy, right? That's not what this is coming from. And some might people think that this is where it's coming from. No, that's not where I'm coming from. My problem is, why in the living heck are you posting a billboard where we have a Phoenix team in the Arizona Cardinals? That's where this is coming from. This isn't coming from, oh, Brock Purdy sucked. No, I'm not saying that. Kudos. It's a great story. It truly is. Mr. Irrelevant. Cool. He's from Phoenix or he's from Arizona. Cool. Okay, whatever. Right. What does that gain me? Nothing. It gains me absolutely nothing. To me, this whole conversation is based off absolutely disgusting to think that that is okay to do. That's all I'm coming from. That's all I'm coming from. All right, we got Matt on the chat. He says, I don't like it either, but it would be worse if it would say go Niners, but it does kind of say it without. Yeah, exactly. 100%. To me, the way I look at it is you're quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, right? You're right. It doesn't have a logo of the 49ers. You're 110% right. It does not have a logo. You're right. You are right. But you can't say go Brock Purdy and not expect somewhere for him to have a good game, right? And if he has a good game, then the 49ers have a good game, right? So you're right. It doesn't have a 49ers logo, but he is also the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. So there is that. Somebody in the chat says, why do we never use Greg Dortch? We're not even talking about that. I'm sorry. You could use that for a completely different stream, Esteban, but I appreciate you for being here, brother. Let's see here. Yeah, it's more about Brock than the 49ers. Let's see here. Sorry about my sentence. Sort of working and listening. Oh no, you're good, man. No worries, brother. You're good. All right, let's go here in the Instagram world. Let's see what the Instagram people have to say. Right now, we got 5 people watching here on Instagram. Let's see here. No matter what, let's go Cardinals. Billboards are for the old heads that like him. Okay, that's fine. And right now, I'm going on the Instagram world, ladies and gentlemen, because we are live on Instagram, X, as well as YouTube. So we're going on the Instagram comments. I can understand where you're coming from. Sometimes stores have merch for out-of-state teams that actually home teams. We suck those, so that's fair. We do suck. His parents probably migrated too. They raised him in Queen Creek. He's not one of us. He's just born here, probably. This is the Arizona Cardinals, not the Phoenix Cardinals, but I agree with you. Okay, bro doesn't even know how where Queen Creek is. Yeah, it's east north, isn't it? It's east north. It's northeast is where Queen Creek is. How was more? Can you explain where Queen Creek? I just didn't know where he was from. I don't know Brock Purdy like that. Some people like doing deep dives on these guys. He's irrelevant to me. He's the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. I don't need to know anything about him. He's not causing my life anything special for me to dig in. Yeah, he's the San Francisco 49ers quarterback, and he's from here. That's all I care about. Okay. I don't need to know everything about him. It's just where it is. Let's keep it going with the chat. Let's go back onto the YouTube world. Purdy would have been let's see here. all that we can do is ignore all this and get better. You think JG and Kyler are cool with this? This is just more fuel for us. I hope so. I truly, truly hope so. Honestly, at the end of the day, I truly hope so. I truly, truly hope so. That they look at this and they say, wow, disrespect. If they don't, it's unfortunate. That's all I got to say. It's unfortunate. Because this should feel like a slap in the face to everybody who was wearing an Arizona Cardinal logo, everybody who wore an Arizona Cardinal jersey. If you're from here, if you're not from here, then you don't get it. You just don't get it. There's no way to explain it other than you just don't get it. You just don't get it. If you're from Phoenix, Arizona, born and raised, you have a beef, a bone to pick with the California teams. It's just what it is. Anything. MLB, NBA, it's been like that. NFL, it's been like that. It won't change. Somebody on the chat says, at times, we Arizonans are desperate to claim anyone from this state. I agree. I agree, man. I agree. I think that's exactly what it is. We want to cheer on for something so darn bad that we're literally saying, go San Francisco 49ers. Go Brock Purdy. Oh, I guess they said more go Brock Purdy than go San Francisco 49ers, right? It's unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. Let's go back with Gina. Gina says Brock Purdy is the best QB than Murray. You're not really making a sentence there, but I understand what you're saying. I don't agree. I think Brock Purdy has had success. I think he's a pretty good quarterback, or good quarterback. I mean, I guess he can be called great quarterback if he wins the Super Bowl, right? We'll have to kind of wait and see how that shakes out. But I'm never going to come out here and say any other quarterback, especially in our division, is better than my quarterback in Kyler Murray. Somebody on the chat says, it's laughable. People think Brock Purdy is better than Kyler. Keep it going in the chat. Brock is not better than Kyler. K1, he's getting carried. Somebody in the chat says, but I'm rooting for 49ers. I can't stand the Chiefs. Draft yes, well, I agree with that. Draft Marvin Harrison if he's there. Somebody on the chat says Purdy is a system QB. Honestly, with that whole system QB thing, it's so blown up. It really is blown up. To be honest with you, Brock Purdy's still making the throws. Brock Purdy's still running out of the pocket and making plays with his legs. So you got to give him credit to where credit's due. Like I said earlier, this is not about me bashing on Brock Purdy. It's about Dane Billboards. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Solely, that's what this is about. All right, saying something in the chat here. Who bought billboards? So if you guys look at the picture, and I'll actually post it here again, the pictures were actually, or the billboards were actually sponsored by Lerner and Rowe. If you do not know who this is, then you're probably not from Arizona or don't watch TV, because they are the guys that have those very, very interesting commercials, very, very green screen commercials. Lerner and Rowe's a law firm, essentially. If you're not from here, you probably won't know who they are, but they are from a very, I guess, popular or well-known law firm here in Phoenix, Arizona. Lerner and Rowe is where it came from, essentially. So it's what it is, right? Somebody on the chat says Arizona Cardinals are a trash team. I mean, I don't think Gina's a Cardinal fan. I honestly don't think Gina's a Cardinal fan, but no worries. I appreciate you for being here. Somebody in the chat says, get out of here. I mean, Mess says, I bet if you put Kyler on the 49ers, guaranteed Kyler would be an MVP. I think that Kyler Murray, if he was drafted anywhere but the Arizona Cardinals, he probably would have more success. Yeah, I agree with that statement. 100% agree with that statement. Yes, I agree with that. There's no denying. I don't think anybody in the chat here is denying that. Don't think anybody here on the chat is denying that. It's very unfortunate that we had to live through a Steve Keim era, trying to build around Kyler, right? In his eyes, build when we were getting linebackers back and back, all the time. Very, very unfortunate. But I can only hope that this gives some sort of edge to the Cardinals. Is the only thing I could hope for, right? At the end of the day, are these billboards coming down? Probably not, right? These guys paid to put this up, right? These guys pay to put these up. So it's kind of one of those things where this won't happen, or this wouldn't be okay anywhere else. That's all I got to say. This wouldn't be okay anywhere else. And I think that's what people aren't understanding. You won't see go Jared Goff in San Fran. You won't see that. But here it's okay. And I think that's the big problem. Here it's okay. He's a hometown kid. We suck, right? That's the narrative out there. It's not okay. You want to put those billboards up in Tucson? That's fine. Ain't nobody care about Tucson. We're talking about Phoenix, Arizona. Population 1.6 million people. Big difference between Phoenix and Kentville, California, where Jared Goff's from, if they indeed put billboards on him there. Big difference. Won't happen in Buffalo. Won't happen anywhere else but here, because it's okay. Because he's a hometown kid, ladies and gentlemen. It's a slap in the face to Cardinals fans. It's disrespectful. And it's a slap in the face to the Cardinals organization. Because we're justifying it, saying, well, we're irrelevant. I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it. Let's read the last chat. Let's go with no F's given. What's up, brother? He says, that's a big slap to the Arizona Cardinal fans, and a disrespect to put fraud Purdy in Phoenix is unreal. I'm mad about it. If I had the money, I would pay to take them down and put Bird Gang. Yeah, I agree. You won't see this anywhere else but here. And because the Cardinals are back-to-back 4-win teams, we're telling ourselves it's because the Cardinals are irrelevant, but this would not happen anywhere else. I promise you that. It's very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. But like I said earlier, when Cardinals don't do well, there's nobody to back them. There's nobody there. And I'm not saying, obviously, there's a good chunk of Cardinal fans that are always there, thick and thin. But the majority, nah. They ain't. It's a big problem. Absolutely. Bird Gang all the way. That's the only thing that I want to see in any darn billboard here in Phoenix, Arizona moving forward. I never want to see a Go Brock Purdy ever again. And I'm not okay with it. I'm never going to be okay with it. I don't care if he's from here. He does nothing for me, nothing for my life, nothing for the Arizona Cardinals, and I can care absolute less. That's how I feel about it. All right. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We did get a section where, I wanted to get people to chime in here, but nobody wanted to chime in. That's completely fine. So we're going to go ahead and end it at this. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I understand it. Right now, there's not really much to talk about. So I'm going to kind of throw a live stream up there right now and then talk about something that I feel pretty passionate about. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. We're going to close the shop right here. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day and go Cards.